I know a lot of you guys have things you want to accomplish. You want to unleash your potential. You know there's more that you could be accomplishing, but you're not doing it, and you want to figure out how you can accomplish more, you can have more. You're sick of being a loser, seeing other people live the life of your dreams. You know you're capable of it, and you want to learn how you can actually realize that potential. I'm going to show you how in this video, but before I do that, I want to ask you a question. What percentage of your potential do you want to realize? Do you really want 100%? Or would you be happy with just realizing 50% or 10%? This is a question I asked myself, and then I really thought about it. I said, okay, 100%. Then I thought, what would I have to sacrifice? And you need to ask yourself that question too, and see if you are willing to actually make that sacrifice. Because when I see the average person in the street, I feel like they have so much like potential that they're not bringing to the surface. It's like an iceberg, and they have so much more, but instead they're walking around fucking poor or not in the shape they want to be in. What would it take for you to really bring all your potential to the surface? What would it really take? As soon as I say that, you got to sacrifice, people think, oh man, I'm not going to spend time with my family. No. There's 4 quadrants of life. There's money, health, romantic relationships, and friends and family. These are the 4 quadrants of life. And when I say realize your potential, I mean all of them. You can have money, but if your health is shitty, you a man walking around with some tig old bitties, you know what I'm saying? You walking around with titties, that's not reaching your potential. If your fucking relationships suck, you know what I'm saying, your wife don't love you, then that's not reaching your potential. If you don't have friends and family, that's not reaching your potential either. I'm talking about all areas in life. Like I said before, the average person has so much potential, but they're not realizing it. And the reason why is because you don't get what you want. You only get what you have to have. You won't rise to your ambition. You're going to fall to your standards. Your whole life is a reflection of your standards. Think about all the goals you ever wanted to accomplish in your life. The ones that you did not accomplish. Was it something you wanted, or was it something you had to have? Was it just a good fucking idea? Something you would have liked to have? Or was it a fucking must? Be honest with yourself, because I already know the answer. It was just a good fucking idea. If it was a must, you would have had it. Within reason. Obviously, oh, I tried to fly, but I couldn't. Shut up, bitch. I'm not talking about breaking the laws of physics. I'm talking about shit that other human beings have done. Get real. The car you drive, the house you live in, the woman you date is a reflection of your standards. And you could have more. The thing is, you have to raise your standards and make it a must. Now, how does one accomplish that? Here's the thing. A lot of times people will look at the things they want to accomplish. This drawing of a trophy will represent that. I know you're thinking, damn, Brandon's such a good artist. I'm like, I know, it's incredible, but just try to stay focused. This is a trophy. And people will focus on this goal, but then what happens is they'll want this thing, but then they'll see the gap between where they are and this goal. And what happens is they get sad. You might see other people accomplishing it, and you'd be like, oh, I'm so far away from that. I'll never get that. That happens a lot. The problem is the actual goal is what's called a lagging indicator. For example, when you see somebody in great shape, a lot of muscle, low body fat, those are just results. And all results are lagging indicators. What that means is the leading indicators would be if somebody's tracking their macros every day, if they're working out every day, doing the things that will cause the results. Those are leading indicators. If you focus on the lagging indicators or results, you can be sad. Or even if you're not sad, it's like you're making a deal with yourself where you won't be happy until you see the lagging indicators come to fruition.
The worst deal maybe ever signed anywhere.
What I like to do is focus on the leading indicators. So a leading indicator would be the things that will get you the results. In a fitness context, if you want to be in great shape, there's things you have to do every day. You have to get enough sleep. You have to drink enough water. You have to hit a certain amount of calories. You have to hit your macros. You have to work out. And you have to do these things every day. And if you do those things every day, 90 days in a row, what's going to be the results? You're going to be in great shape. If you hit those leading indicators every day for a year, you're going to look like a whole different person. So what you really want to do is focus only on the leading indicators. And you don't even have to look at the result. For example, when I got this thing, I knew it was going to happen. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked because we focused on what we needed to do every day to accomplish that goal. Another example is my son. He took a test. It was a standardized test that they give all kindergarten students in this test. And he tested in the top 2% of all kids in his state. Reading at a second grade level, doing math at a second grade level. I wasn't surprised because when he was 2, the games we would play was like flashcards with math and shit. He can barely even say the numbers. So I'm not surprised that he's good as fucking math. It's not a surprise to me because we focused on the things that would get him there. I got him a bunch of different tutors and a bunch of different trainers in different aspects of his life. So it's not a surprise to me he's better than all these other little motherfuckers in his school, in his state. We just focus on the leading indicators. But you gotta pick the right indicators. Leading indicators would be habits, the things that will actually lead to the results. Just focus on these and you don't have to look at the results at all. But how do you pick? You got to make sure you pick the right ones. If you really want to fulfill your potential, you got to do it like this. So let's say there's a bug in your house. I've given this analogy before. In your house, not in mine, bugs can't make it up here. It's a penthouse in Miami, man. How they even gonna get up here? It's not their natural habitat. Bug can't make it this fucking high. Birds barely make it up here, man. Birds struggling. But in your house, probably some bugs, and he's having a good time. He's really enjoying life because you got dirty dishes and shit. Your standards are low. Your place is fucking filthy. So he's in there having sex with other bugs, mating, getting other bug bitches pregnant, laying eggs, starting a family, a happy family in your fucking home, your home. Let's say you see this motherfucker. You could try to kill him. Let's say you get a fly swatter and you try to kill this motherfucker, man. Thing is, you might hit him, but you might miss. You might hit him and you might miss. And that's how most people go about accomplishing their goals. What they do is they think, what do I have to do to accomplish this goal? So you might thinking that a fly swatter hit him with a shoe might be enough, but you might miss. And this motherfucker goes back to his bitch. You won't believe what happened, man. This nigga had a fly swatter, man. He tried to get me, but I hid underneath his dirty ass dishes until he got tired of looking. We should fucking have some more babies in his crib. Then he goes on to grow his family in your home. That's how you've been living. Now let's say instead, let's say you dropped a bomb on a building. You definitely killed a bug. So what you need to do is think about what amount of effort would you have to put in that would make failure impossible. You start putting those habits in order and then you focus on them every day. Those habits are the leading indicators. And then you have to track it. So it looks like this. You have to raise your standards. Then you got to figure out what kind of effort you need to make it impossible to fail. And then here's where the magic happens, right? You got to track it. So this is one of my habit trackers from last year. I thought, okay, what would I have to do to make it impossible for me to fail at my goals? So I thought, okay, I got to work out every day. I got to meditate twice a day. I got to track my macros every day. I got to get 7 hours of sleep. I use something called mint.com to track my spending. I do something called the flex pitch. I can't tell you what that is, but it makes me a lot of money. Practice Spanish. We're going to get to this in a minute. I have to study. That's why I know so much. I'm so much smarter than you. I have to work on content because one of the things I wanted to do was get this, right? So I had to work on content every day. Again, it's all areas of life. So I had to spend a certain amount of time with my girlfriend. I put together this habit tracker and you can see, check this out, working out 86% of the days. There were some days where I had to travel or I took a rest day or whatever. 80%, 87% is still good. AM meditation, 96%, almost 97%. That's why I'm so cool, calm, and collective all the time, right? You know, fucking PM meditation, 80%. Tracking my macros, 100%. Let's just look at the macros in the workout. If somebody's working out every day and tracking their macros, what do you think is going to happen? It'd be impossible for this motherfucker to fail. If he's hitting his macros every day and working out, he couldn't fail. And if your mental health is important and you're meditating twice a day, 20 minutes a day, over 80% of the time, you're probably going to have a good mental state. And if you're getting sleep, 7 hours of sleep is what I need. And I track it with my Oura ring. And I just write it here if I got it or not. And I did it 75% of the time. I tracked my fucking money, man. I'm serious about the money. What do you think my accounting looks like if I'm tracking my spending every day? The income and the outflow every day. What do you think it looks like? The flex pitch is something that makes me money. I can't tell you what it is, but you can see I did that 84% of the days. Now here's where it gets interesting. Spanish, only 12%. How well do you think I speak Spanish? As a result, that's right. Un poquito, hablar un poquito español para hombre. So I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I'm not great at it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not great at speaking Spanish. And you can see why. Then you'll study in 98% of the days. This is why, how you think I read 2 books a week? I track this shit, working on content. If I work on content almost every day, it is a surprise that I am a social media master. Spend at least 3.5 hours a day with my girlfriend. I'm focusing on the things that will make it impossible to fail. And I track it. If you're not tracking, you slacking. If you really want to fulfill your potential, you have to raise your standards and then think about what would you have to do every day that would make it impossible for you to fail at hitting your goals? Make it impossible to fail. And then only focus on the leading indicators. Only focus on the habits and track them. That's all you need to focus on. You don't even have to look at the goals. Like, I'm not even surprised when I hit the goals. It can't not happen because I'm doing the things every day that lead to it. And the beauty of this is because I focus on my habits every day, all I got to do is make each day a win. All I got to do is string together perfect days. If you string together perfect days, then you get perfect weeks. You string together perfect weeks, you get perfect months. You string together perfect months, you have perfect years. Then that year is successful. And if you string together perfect years, you live the way I've been living. You've seen my come up here. I documented the whole thing over the last 10 years. Y'all saw me come from a small crib in Queens to a penthouse in Manhattan, then a penthouse in Miami. You've seen it. All it is stringing together perfect days consistently and focusing on the leading indicators. If you can do that, then you can actually reach your potential. If you fail to do this, well, listen, just don't fuck up my order at Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you my name is Brandon, spell it right on the cup. G-O-D.